If you've been scrolling through endless listings, reading the same glossy marketing copy, and still feel stuck about which massage recliner actually lives up to the hype, you're not alone. I've been in that exact spot trying to figure out whether a high-tech chair is worth the floor space, the price tag, and the time you'll actually spend in it. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. In this review, I'm going to break down the Osaki 2026 4D Emperor II, walk through the everyday scenarios you might put it in, and help you decide if it's the right fit for your home or if you should keep looking. Let's start with the problem most buyers face. You want relief from back or leg tension after a day at the desk, but you also don't want a piece of furniture that turns your living room into a warehouse. The Osaki 2026 tries to solve that by combining a space-saving zero-gravity mechanism with a full-body air system and a 4D massage motor that mimics a therapist's hand movements. The promise is a smart personalized massage that scans your body, then adjusts pressure and positioning automatically. That sounds impressive, but the real question is how that technology translates when you actually sit down after a long shift. First off, the body scan feature is genuinely useful if you're the type who can't tell where you need the most attention. When you press the power button, the chair runs a quick sensor pass that maps the curvature of your spine, the width of your hips, and the length of your calves. Based on that data, the 4D rollers follow an S-track path that hugs the natural curve of the lower back, then moves up to the shoulders. In my own testing, the chair didn't just vibrate in a generic rhythm, it actually shifted the intensity as it moved from the lumbar area into the upper traps, which felt like a therapist was adjusting their pressure on the fly. For anyone who suffers from uneven tension, say, a desk-bound coder with a tight left shoulder and a sore right lower back, that adaptive motion is a clear advantage. The 42-cell air system is another point where the Emperor II stands out. Traditional massage chairs usually rely on rollers alone, but here each cell inflates and deflates in sync with the rollers, delivering a wave-like compression across the thighs, calves, and even the upper arms. I tried the calf kneading program after a marathon of standing in the kitchen, and the combination of air pressure and heat cut the post-exercise soreness noticeably faster than a simple foam roller would. If you're looking for a way to combine air compression with deep tissue work without buying a separate foot massager, this integrated approach saves both space and money. Now, the zero-gravity Recline is marketed as a way to reduce spinal load, and it does the job once you get the 3-stage adjustment dialed in. The first stage tilts you back just enough to relieve pressure on the lumbar discs, the second adds a slight elevation of the legs, and the third fully stretches the body into a near-horizontal position. In my apartment, the chair's footprint is still a bit larger than a standard recliner, but the 3-stage mechanism folds the legs neatly under the seat, which means you can slide it against a wall without it jutting out too far. For small space dwellers, that compactness is a real selling point, but you still need a clear 3-foot radius on at least 2 sides for the footrest to extend comfortably. Speaking of the footrest, the automatic extendable design is a subtle yet handy feature. When you select a program that focuses on lower body relief like deep calf kneading or foot roller, the footrest slides out to meet your feet, then retracts when the session ends. This eliminates the need for you to manually adjust a separate foot pad, and it ensures the rollers stay aligned with your calves. However, the extension mechanism is motor-driven and can be a bit noisy the first few times you use it, especially if you have a quiet home office where any whirring is noticeable. If you're very sensitive to background noise, you might want to run the chair during a time when you're not on a conference call. Control-wise, the Emperor II leans heavily into voice activation and a touchscreen remote. The voice commands are straightforward: start deep tissue, turn on heat, or stop. In practice, the voice recognition works best in a quiet room. Shouting over a TV or music can cause the system to miss the command, forcing you to fall back on the remote. The remote itself is fairly intuitive: 6 manual mode options plus 16 pre-programmed routines. One thing to watch out for is the learning curve. The menu layers aren't labeled with plain English descriptions, so you'll spend a few minutes getting comfortable with terms like S-track or 4D wave. Once you've memorized the shortcuts, though, switching between a quick 15-minute neck relief and a full-body 45-minute session is almost as easy as changing a TV channel. Let's talk about who should actually consider buying this chair. If you're a frequent